Okay. My voice is still dead from the Doctor Strange reaction video. Yes, I actually did all the videos today. Every video that's coming out this week was done in one day. One day. So I'm gonna take a little break from all the excitement and react to the Game of the I was gonna say Game of Thrones. I have never seen Game of Thrones because I know it's not for kids, but I don't know why it comes to my mind. But, I have some energy still. So let's react to the Game Theory final security breach. The clue that almost solved everything about Fnaf security breach. It's pretty excited. I see the other security breach videos already. So let's get into this.
Today,
I'm excited.
Today,
my voice still crack.
Wait, did we say this exact same thing 7 years ago?
Yeah. Okay. What is happening?
Hello, Internet. Welcome to Game Theory, the show that reminds you that if you click
Wait,
the like
that's a
button
wall.
hard enough,
What?
it'll summon
I have a face cam seeing myself. What am I doing?
Party. Go ahead, try it. Hit that like button. Didn't work? Have you tried
Nope, it
clicking
didn't.
subscribe? I hear that sometimes.
Yeah, I already
I guess you
subscribed
must not
to
be clicking hard enough. I don't know what
Music
to tell you. Speaking
Man.
of not working hard enough, aren't you tired
Music
of just
Man.
plain boring merch? The kind that you buy and
He's not
sure,
here.
it looks cool, but it just sits there on your body, not doing anything interesting. Well, what if your merch was actually a puzzle? Introducing the world's first quest jacket. I know what you're thinking. A denim jacket isn't anything revolutionary, and you'd largely be right, except you'd also be missing one of the most crucial details. Those patches, they're not just any old D&D style patches, they're clues to help you solve a much bigger puzzle that exists inside
What?
this thing. It's
Oh,
not
that's
just
cool.
a jacket, it's the world's first ARG jacket. You heard that right, a world first. It's not every day that you create like the first of something, but to all my research, I don't think a product like this has ever existed. We've actually been working for the past 2 years to make something like this happen, working with garment manufacturers to sew secrets into places that they've never even thought about before.
That's pretty cool.
Obviously, I don't want to
Might
give too much
probably
away
buy it.
because part of the fun is letting
Actually,
you guys solve this for yourself. But we
I have to
pulled
change
out
my
all of the
mind.
stops to give you a piece
The
of
puzzle
clothing
jacket
that
got
you
away.
can actually
I have to get that
experience.
FNAF
This thing is
plushies,
premium to the max.
Doc was
If
gonna
you manage to solve it,
upload,
you get a special
sell
final patch
before
to
it
show
sell
that
out,
you are
'cause I want
truly
body.
a puzzle master.
I'm gonna
So
get a
go
body.
ahead, head on down to the description and
Hopefully.
be a part of history. Grab yourself the first ever piece of ARG clothing and
Might
what
check it
will
out.
be the first in our series of quest jackets.
First.
Roll an investigation check to see if you've got what it takes.
That's kinda
Today,
cool,
we
though.
finish milking, I mean covering the major mysteries of security breach. And you
Okay.
know what? I think I solved it. Or at least I think I've solved most of it. 7 years ago I
You
made
did?
this video, The Clue That Solves Five Nights at Freddy's, where we put together all the pieces to
7
support
years?
Dream Theory. The concept that the first 4 games of the series were all a collection of nightmares happening inside the mind of a child.
Wait,
In
I'm
that episode,
FNAF.
there were lots of points of evidence, but ultimately the conclusion
Oh yeah,
hinged on one
I was like in
design
like
detail.
1 or 2
The
years,
alarm that
all the
brought
like
each
for the
night
first
to a
4 games
close
come on
at
back to
6
back.
o'clock a.m.
Like
A
the first
grandfather
game, then the
clock for
second
3
game come out a
games
few
and
months
digital
after.
clock for
That's
number
kinda cool.
4.
You
3
finish those
games
things
in
for
the
us.
crying child's house where we see a grandfather clock. The 4th
Yeah,
in a
Security Breach
hospital
actually taking
right
longest.
before he dies, which ironically enough is the one whose gameplay is happening in a recreation of the house. Ooh, there's a reason this series is so difficult to talk about. Anyway,
Pretty
the
much.
reason I bring that video up is because today's theory works largely in the same way. Over the past few FNAF episodes,
Yeah,
I've
I
been
see all
trying to
those.
make heads or tails of security breach, pulling at what to me felt like the strongest thread.
Yeah.
Gregory as the crying child, reborn in a robot
It
body.
does
Him
have-
reuniting with his brother Michael in the form of Glamrock Freddy and his sister Elizabeth in the form of Vanessa. And we've covered a lot of evidence trying to support that
Yeah,
claim. The
it
character's
does make a
design,
little
colors,
sense,
the
to be
light
honest.
screen, the voice lines, robotic eyes,
It's
the
FNAF we
sound
talking
design,
about,
everything
come
that drives
on.
the game's
You really
future
think they would
ending.
do
I mean,
this?
it's a lot. There are
I am
2
reading
episodes
the
that are
book
jam-packed
series,
full of
and the
discussion
book
around
series
exactly this.
is
But today,
confusing,
I have
and I
myself done.
love the
clue
lore
that
in
takes it from
them,
just a
by the way.
controversial
They're pretty
theory
good.
to, at least in my
I reached
mind,
book 5,
largely
book 4.
proven fact. Just
And I'm gonna
like
get a graphic
Fox
novel for
and
Survive,
Theory
even though I
was
haven't
the
got a
one
graphic
clue that
novel
is
for,
so specific,
no, not
so
Survive. I'm
intentional
gonna get
that
a
it
graphic
confirms
novel.
that this was the main intent of the game, until of course they decide to retcon it all due to bad audience feedback to keep the franchise going for
You know,
another
I actually never really hear
Sorry,
anybody
guys,
talk
I
about
hate
that
to
room.
say it, but I think I'm unfortunately right this time. Gregory is a robot, and
Oh.
he's the crying child reborn. And by the end of today, I think you're gonna be convinced. And then from there, we're
Okay.
gonna talk about how all of that factors into the
Oh, the
game's
CDs.
narrative and its final mystery, Patient
Patient.
46. It
Yes,
all
who
begins
is that?
here, the Post-it room.
Huh. What? This is unexpected.
After
Oh.
exploring the sewers to decommission Chica,
My face cam was anyway.
Here, a room full of glowing staff bot heads and lots of post-it reminders on literally every surface. I mean, this thing is a flashing neon sign that says important
Yep,
lore
pretty
here.
much.
And yet in online discussions, it's been largely overlooked because it's kind of sandwiched in the middle of the game, overshadowed by the animatronic.
I honestly didn't expect. I mean, I obviously expected some form of spring trap, but Molten Freddy dog? That was pretty surprising.
What are we looking at here?
I think it's pretty obvious.
Yeah? Is it obvious, Matt? What is it?
You get to a certain age,
Uh-huh.
and you gotta start taking notes.
Post-it notes?
Yeah, you just leave them around.
Okay.
But also there's robot heads.
So with that incredible insight, I spent
Okay.
literal hours off camera trying to look at every single post-it note to make sure that I had the full picture.
Move back
and
the
the
camera.
answer I got was, do not do that. Learn
Really?
from my mistakes. It took me
Why?
so long, only to discover that the game files had been dug up and the post-it textures were just there in
Oh,
3 simple
God.
images. Thanks to Jeff
I feel the
and Spawn
pain.
for uploading these to
I feel the
GitHub. Flushed
pain.
those hours of my life down the toilet. When you study these
Yeah, I
post-it
feel the
textures,
pain,
you
dude.
actually realize that there are 3 phases to the
I feel
post-it
like I want to do
One,
actual FNAF theory, because I know a lot of FNAF, but I don't know yet.
The final where they become nearly perfect. It looks like someone is trying to learn how to write and draw, slowly getting
Okay.
better over time. And it all begins here with a note written in binary. When you first enter the room, there's a cardboard box in the middle, which, if I were to guess, is steel wool trying to draw our attention to the most important post-it clues in what otherwise is a very crowded
True.
and busy-looking room. On it, we get this binary string, which translates to "Why is I?" That's it. The grammar, I think,
Why
is
is I?
intentionally bad because this is a computer coming into consciousness, asking the question, "Why am I alive?" and doing it written in binary, the language of machines, computers, robots. Elsewhere in the room is more binary that translates to hide. Whatever this thing is, it's scared and it's confused. It hides until it can better understand what or who it's meant to be. The other
I'll watch that
illegible
video
phase
later,
one
Shaq.
notes here are random flashing thoughts, the sky, kids, love, random glimpses of memories coming into focus. The phrase, "I can feel it," is this creature coming into consciousness. And this right here, "You are something family," which looks like Afton family,
It
but
does.
it's pretty unclear. In short, it appears to be a machine that started speaking in binary, but as more and more memories start to take hold, it begins to write in normal alphabetic characters. When you
Oh,
dive into
boy.
the notes from phases 2 and 3, though, things start to get much clearer. It's mainly images and text revolving around birthday parties, happy place, birthday time, family, a pile of presents, some cake, let's get snack, fun, friends forever, pizza time. Nothing
That's the bite!
particularly earth-shattering
That is
or
when-
serious about pizza restaurants. But then there's one post-it in the
Dude,
first 3 notes that
that's the
really
bite!
stands out. The one clue that
All those hints into the
brings
bite.
together
It is
the
Michael!
last months of
That is
research.
Michael!
This thing is the linchpin. It's our smoking gun, my friends. And it
That
all
is the
boils down
bite.
to
That is
the present
literally-
alongside 3 simple words, "all for me." The party was all for me. Does that mean anything to you? Because it's certainly
No
doesn't.
way!
In the Fnaf survival logbook, a seemingly innocuous
No way!
pizzeria-themed activities, you have 3 voices speaking through the pages. Michael Afton, writing his answers in red pen, the vengeful spirit Cassidy, using lightly faded text, and the crying child, altering the physical
Yeah.
text of the book. One
Oh, wait.
conversation that happens between
Crap.
Cassidy and the crying
Mine
child
was-
plays out like this. Cassidy
it-
says, "The party was for you," and the
Okay.
crying child responds,
My mistake, not
"Was
Michael
for
Afton,
me,
the crying
all
child.
for
That was the crying
me."
child.
Suddenly, all the party
That's
imagery
the
makes
bites.
sense. The balloons, the cake,
Yeah,
the
that's the
kids.
bites.
This is the bite victim, the
Yes!
crying child, coming
Evan!
into consciousness and remembering the birthday party that took his life. And using this context, suddenly everything in these notes takes on a whole new meaning. In the first phase of notes,
Oh
we
my
see a
god.
house with
How
a
do they-
set
oh
of
god.
pointing towards what looks
How do
like a
they do
strange
this?
set of doors. Maybe another building, which admittedly doesn't make much sense unless this is
Yeah.
the crying child, who in FNAF 4 would walk
Ooh.
down and to the right and then back up to go to Freddy's with his brother every single day. In the phase 3 notes, we see this close-up of a bear, which would have been the last thing that the crying child saw before his head got chomped. Blue, yellow, green, and red, those are the flashing lights above the Fredbear stage as he gets bit. Or, maybe it's the balloons on the nearby table for someone who can't tell the
What?
difference between blue and purple. Even things like hide and no hide relate to
Oh
the
my
crying
god, it
child
makes
behavior throughout
sense.
FNAF 4. He hides under tables, and he is constantly made fun of for for it throughout the game. We also see a lot of dialogue about running away, just like
It
on the
makes
posters.
sense.
Digging deeper, we also start to see other patterns emerging. The number 7 shows up
7.
repeatedly as both a set of tally marks as well as a set of 6
7.
faces with a smaller 7th one off to the side. This ties us directly back to Fnaf VR, where we had a glitching purple gravestone for Afton in the middle of 7 normal gravestones. 5 missing children, Charlie the puppet, and the smaller face watching on, the crying child. As he says in other notes, all my friends. There's also repeated use of the number 3. 3 faces, 3 kids, words repeated 3 times like home, 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 and fun, fun, fun. 3 slices of pizza, 3 presents, even just counting to the number 3. So what would that mean? Well, think about it. We've seen a lot of references to a house and family throughout these post-its. Seems to me like it's a reference to
family.
3 Afton kids, Michael, Elizabeth, and the crying child himself. And the thing that brings all of it together isn't a post-it note, but instead the table higher up in the room where we see the staff bots arranged like a family at dinner. A mother and a father alongside their 3 kids. 1 red-headed pigtailed girl, 1 boy, and a kid with his head bit off. And just to hammer it all home, in the middle of the
Flora,
table,
any
the
mother.
collectible is a poster for Fredbear's Family Diner, the place of the bite, the place where all of this began. It looks like the robot finally figured out who he was, and he started to recreate his family. The robot is the crying child, which by proxy then has to be Gregory. And if you need further proof of humanoid robots in the game, Illy Becky on Reddit caught this detail from Sister Location. Humanoid heads, ones that look very similar to Gregory's face. Oh, and a last thing, much to everyone's excitement, there's actually a new book series coming out later this year.
No!
A new season of Fazbear Frights called Tales from the Pizzaplex, obviously referencing the location and security breach. The cover of the first book in the new series, Robot Kid, there it is. Which leads us then to the last puzzle of security breach, the retro CDs. For those of you who don't know, there are 16 CDs around the map that you can only find once you've upgraded Freddy's eyes. From there, you take the CDs to a hidden room designed to look exactly like Mike's room from Sister Location. These CDs seem to be recordings of the therapy sessions for 2 patients. Patient 71,
books
who
to
we
collect
mentioned last
and
time,
read.
is clearly Vanessa, and patient 46, who we never get to hear speak. And over the course of the various
Who is
sessions,
that?
46 and 71 are set up to be direct opposites of each other.
Really?
Vanessa likes flowers, patient 46 does
Alright,
not.
yeah.
You like
I forgot
those?
about
The
that.
janitor on this floor has a garden and has been putting bouquets in the offices here for years. What's the problem? Oh, the flowers? I'll move them.
Vanessa likes blue skies and doesn't like dark
But
basements.
as I was saying before I got
dark.
I like the blue
sure for the
sky.
books,
I don't like dark basements.
security
Oh, right,
Sister's
too
location.
bad. When the shades pulled, it
So
feels like we're in
long.
a cubbyhole or a cave, yeah?
Vanessa doesn't like candy, 46 does.
Would you like a candy? No, thank you. Those have 35 calories apiece. Sure, you can have a candy.
Clearly, we're meant to see these characters as opposites, which is why so many people online considered that patient 46 might actually be
Yeah,
Vanny,
I had a mind
Vanessa's
so,
alter ego
but
possessed by glitch trap.
yeah,
Or,
I
even
think
more
that.
extreme, Vanessa's evil twin sister.
I honestly don't
The fire
think
ending
so.
Shows us a dead Vanny on the ground and Vanessa looking down from the burning building's roof. But
I don't
let's
think so.
quickly talk about those 2 interpretations. First of all, Vanessa and Vanny are the same person.
Yep,
They have to be.
call
All
it.
the evidence leading up to this game in places like Fnaf's Special Delivery have pointed to a woman named Vanessa A getting mind hacked by Afton and reluctantly following his orders. And in this game, we still have pieces of evidence. For instance, in the CDs, we learn that Vanessa is buying fake fur to make the Vanny costume.
On your breaks,
Oh, yes.
it looks like you were shopping for a costume. You purchased some fake fur material. What are you gonna make?
If she's not the one wearing it, why would she be making
True.
it? To me, the fire ending
True.
here is meant to be symbolic. We haven't beaten
Yeah.
Princess Quest yet, so Vanessa's
Alright.
spirit is still trapped inside that burning building.
Alright, I
She
forgot
died.
about
She
that. We
is
never.
one person. But could the
Oh my
persona of
god,
Vanny
that
actually
makes
be
sense.
Patient 46?
We
Yet
never
the
see if
evidence just
she.
doesn't seem to add up to that. Throughout their sessions, we get
So it's
multiple
not.
indications that the
It is
therapist
one
speaking to a
person.
child. The way they speak to patient 46 here.
You don't want me to get in trouble.
Because
do
we
you?
didn't
I could
save
be
her
called
from
over
the
for a timeout.
Beaten Princess Quest 3.
You think that's funny?
Okay, that makes
And
sense.
here,
Tragedy always leads to a feeling of loss. It's a hole that feels funny, right?
the way they explain simple words.
And I'm surprised by your knowledge of computers. You're something of a phenom. Do you know what that word means?
Hacker.
It means you have unusual skill, like
Heck!
The way they
I
point out
remember
that
that.
46 doesn't fit into the chair.
That chair doesn't really fit you, does it?
They even mention the fact that they specifically work with children.
You know, I work with people of all ages, from little kids to the very elderly.
I understand that therapists would want to treat alters as they see
Gregory?
themselves, but this just doesn't seem to fit. At no
Is
point do we
Gregory
get an
patient
indication that
46?
Vanny sees herself as a child. But now let's go back to what we assume we know about 46. They're a kid, they like the dark, they like candy, they're really good with computers. In fact, they're a bit robotic themselves, answering questions in cold, detached ways.
When I read your account of what happened, it came across as, well,
Gregory.
more of an objective rather than a subjective narrative. Oh, sorry. You don't know what that means, do you?
Here again, we get another example of the therapist having to explain a relatively simple word.
I
Now,
don't
look at our post-it
know.
room. It's a dark cave underground, outright labeled as "This is my home." On the central cardboard box
But
is a drawing
certain
of candy.
if he
And a robot
is
would be
if he's
emotionally
patient
attached
voice
and
6,
would
it makes
also
no
be
sense
created
because
an- Heck, the therapist does
one
tell patient
second,
46 to write
guys,
down their
one
feelings.
second.
I
Okay, sorry about that.
suggested you write down
Sorry about that.
exactly what made you so
Oops.
sad and scared.
The phone was
If
ringing,
this
so I had to
room
go and
isn't an
answer.
example of that, I don't know what is. Taking it one step further, if I'm right in saying that Gregory is indeed the robot that came into consciousness here, that's why he doesn't fit
I
into
mean,
the chair. He's a kid. That's also the
that's
reason
pretty
Steel Wool
tough.
couldn't let us hear 46's
True.
voice throughout these therapists.
True, we never
games.
hear
It would
it.
give away the game. It would immediately take away the mystery of who 46 is, since we hear Gregory talk so
True.
much. But why
True,
would
true.
Gregory, a robot kid hiding out in the Pizzaplex,
Yeah.
actively be seeking out therapy? He's not in a school of any kind, and he's not employed, so it wouldn't be mandated. What is going on
Yeah,
here?
what?
Well, over the course
Because-
of the 16 CDs, we listen as both patient 46 and Vanessa visit a total of 5 therapists,
Wait, but
all
if-
of whom are implied to have been
if
mangled
the
to death
officer
by
and
machines.
Terry,
But the
she's
deaths
supposed
here
to
are
know Gregory's
arbitrary. If
dead
you
end.
track the tapes,
So-
each therapist ends up getting killed off immediately after they start asking Vanessa about encrypted messages that she's been receiving
yes,
from
I remember
mysterious
that.
figure.
Your performance reviews are good, but a routine check of your online history has revealed that you've spent quite a bit of time with someone in an encrypted conversation. We have transcripts, and I've read them.
Dead the next session.
The messages you're getting seem very manipulative in nature.
Huh.
You know who I'm talking about. Why won't you open up about it? These
I
files
must
are
say,
full of details
security
about your
breach.
life.
Again, dead the next session. When the encrypted messages get brought up to 46, same thing.
When I saw
Security
some of your
breaches,
recent encrypted conversation logs, at
law.
first, I thought I was
It's
looking
full
at
of
more
law,
examples
but,
of you
like,
just talking with yourself.
There's
Then
so
I
much.
realized
There's
it was
just you
different.
don't know what to
When I
talk. You
studied
don't know what to
this,
think about.
it
They
sounds
just
like
have
there is
so
someone
much
else responding to
possibilities.
you.
A third therapist bites the dust. The therapists cover all sorts of topics. Bad childhoods, work history. One therapist even confronts patient 46 with all the other dead therapists. Nothing. No response. It's only once the encrypted messages come up that they're suddenly marked for death. We also know that it's 46 doing the killing here. The dead therapists are a complete surprise to Vanessa.
Hi, go ahead. Sit down.
I don't know you. What happened to...
Oh, we'll get to know each other in no time.
But to 46, it's just business as usual.
Why did you lie? Why don't we come back to this another day? You're shaking your head as though that's not going to happen.
He's shaking his head because he knows that now she is also marked for death. To
Dang.
me, all of this screams of 46 keeping tabs on Vanessa. He's going to therapy not for himself, but rather to follow her actions, making sure that she's not saying anything that she shouldn't about these encrypted messages. And when the therapists do get too close to the truth, they're bumped off. We learn in one of the last CDs that patient 46 isn't being manipulated, but is instead the one doing the manipulation.
I don't think you're being manipulated here. I think you're the one doing the manipulating. No comment? Huh?
Putting 2 and 2 together would tell us that patient 46 is the one communicating with Vanessa. He's controlling her life for some reason. In fact, 46 appears to be the reason Vanessa is working at the Pizzaplex in the first place. One odd detail of the in-game messages is that Vanessa was not supposed to get the security job. In the message marked for deletion, we see that Vanessa's lack of security experience gets the interviewer to not recommend her for the job. And yet, she's hired
But if he's a
anyway,
robot,
despite, as it
how
says
did
in
he get?
another message,
Where did
no
he get
prior
clarification to
qualifications.
bring
See,
her?
both messages were told
What?
that it's an internal reference coming from the top that got her
He
the
can't
job.
be from
Someone
the
has
top.
brought Vanessa here for a
Gregory
specific
cannot be
purpose,
from the
and
top.
Who better than a hacker that's clearly established to be in the Pizzaplex's emails? Patient 46,
Oh, he hacked.
Gregory. In short, it looks
Hacked.
like Gregory is manipulating the situation.
Never mind.
Determined to get
Never mind what I
Vanessa
just
to work at
said.
the
Just
Pizzaplex,
hacked.
following her to all her mandated therapy sessions, and ultimately killing off anyone that gets too close to the truth. I mean, after all, Gregory is not opposed to using a bit of violence to get what he
True.
wants.
We have to get these. We can
He
upgrade
had
you.
no remorse for those on the trip.
He's also not opposed to lying about it.
He has no feeling to them. He just kills. Well, not kill, but just...
When I was in the kitchen earlier, she
Yeah,
fell
he
into
does
some
lie a
sort
lot.
of garbage
He's lied a
smash.
lot to Freddy.
Well, she's still
Freddy's be
functional.
super nice to him.
Why is he
But
going to all of this
what I
effort,
actually
though,
thought was
to
going to
find a
happen, I thought that
post-it
sister
room?
location was
There's
going
a
to
family
repeat,
reunion scene.
where
Multiple post-its referring
Glamour
to
Freddy
family,
was going to be the bad guy.
siblings, their house. Remember what I said earlier?
looks
A
like it's
robot is coming
Gregory.
to consciousness and is trying to reclaim what he lost, his family. He wants the family back together, and so he's doing everything in his power to make that happen. Using his hacking skills, he's managed to break into staff files, so he knows that there's something off about Vanessa. Maybe he even knows that his dad's consciousness is inside of her. He's also got his brother in Freddy and his dad in the basement. The family in this game is truly coming together
Yeah,
again,
true.
reclaiming what Crying Child once lost. And that's it. That's the whole theory done. There are definitely no holes or flaws to anything I
There's
just
a lot.
said. Don't look any deeper than everything I just told you. Alright, fine. There might be a few itty-bitty holes to
Yeah,
all of
those
this
holes don't look
explanation,
itty-bitty,
namely some
man.
of the info that we get from the last two CDs. If Patient 46 is Gregory, then why is he glitching the system to make all the animatronics scarier?
Yeah.
If he lured Vanessa to the Pizzaplex, then why would he then be avoiding
True.
her throughout
Yeah,
the
that's
game?
what I'm
Why would he
saying.
be surprised to see Afton in
Oh, yeah, I
the
forgot
basement
about
if he's
that.
trying to bring the family all together? There's also the mystery of the whole parent story. 46 is said to
True.
have good parents.
None of what you said in your file about your parents was true.
He lied.
The truth
Whoever
is,
this is
you
lied.
had great parents, a great childhood. Why did you lie?
But how would records of good parenting exist for a robot who presumably had no
Yeah.
parents? Or the crying child whose
True.
records presumably would say that he was dead? Or even if you don't believe those theories, if 46 is Gregory and Gregory's just a homeless kid, that doesn't sound like he would have had a great childhood or any sort of home life. But the kicker, the one to me that makes this really difficult to explain, is this email that I had long forgotten about from Fnaf AR. Strap in for this one, friends. Hey Ness, I hope things are good. I saw you ordered 3 lifelike human male rubber masks, and I was dying to ask what they're for. Sounds to me
No.
like a robot kid
No,
is
no, no,
confirmed,
no,
but it
no,
also
no,
sounds
no.
to me like Vanessa built it or gave rise to this robot kid. If
No.
so, then I ask again, why would
No.
Gregory be avoiding
No.
her throughout
No.
the game? I mean, the best I
No.
could come up with is that
No.
somehow Gregory escaped and is now
What?
convinced that Vanessa is trying to shut him down because of his rogue programming. I mean, it's not a bad idea, but then why would he be luring her to the Pizzaplex? It's like one half of each explanation works, but then
Yeah,
when
that's
you
what
try
I'm trying to
connect it back
explain
with
to.
the other half of the theory, they end up contradicting each
It's
other, which
just
is really
so
frustrating.
confusing.
There are 2 other options. First, the robot kid from the post-it room is entirely brand new.
But that makes
or
no
the second option
sense.
is it's someone that we never see in the game, Baby. Now, the first option of
I
a brand new
guess.
character, yeah, it's cool, I guess.
Yeah, but
I
that makes
can't
no
really
sense.
speculate about that. It could literally go anywhere and solve everything. As for option 2, Baby, just like with Gregory, there are certain things that fit and
Yeah.
other things that just don't. Baby, like Gregory, could want to put the family back
True.
together. Baby has always wanted to make Daddy proud, so she'd be quite happy to kill off therapists that got too close to the truth, just like we see with 46.
True.
And she would willingly spread the Afton virus to make the animatronics
Yeah.
scary in order to bring Daddy
That
back.
could
If she's using
be.
illusion discs, or if she acts like she does in the books, then it's possible that she'd be able to take the form of a child and make up a backstory. She's also a character that canonically loves disguises, just like Patient 46.
It reminds you
Oh
of a
my
mask,
God.
like a disguise? Yeah, I can see that. You like the idea of being disguised? Disguises let you be sort of invisible, don't they?
There's also a line about the therapist being able to see Patient 46's eyes.
That's better. On this side of the desk, I can see your
And then when I
eyes.
said the
We
eyes
know
was
that Baby's
green,
eye color has always been an important
We
detail
know it's
in the
Baby.
past, but as with Gregory, there are still a number of
Yeah,
holes
true,
with
it
this
still
line of
has-
thinking. Baby/Elizabeth likes
Yeah,
flowers.
she does.
Patient 46 doesn't. We also know Baby hates being in the basement of Sister
Yeah.
Location. So then why, as Patient 46, would she prefer to live in a cave rather than
Yeah,
blue
'cause the
sky?
whole
In short,
idea of
as
Sister
I wrap
Location
up
was
my
to get
overall
out.
coverage of Security Breach, I guess I gotta summarize it like this. This game is frustrating.
Yeah, I
from
could
a
see
lore
that.
standpoint. Smaller questions like Glamrock Bonnie and Golden Freddy, yeah, those are pretty easy to answer.
Pretty much.
But when it comes to what this game was actually about, no
Yeah.
one theory actually solves
That's
it all
pretty
in a clean
difficult.
way. There are references to every corner of the FNAF universe in here, but as a result, nothing fits cleanly together to solve
Yeah.
everything. There are pieces that always dangle or always contradict something else. Do I think the crying child is here based on the post-it room? Yes,
Okay, yeah. yeah, for sure.
Is he Gregory? I mean,
Yeah,
right
I
now,
could.
I think that he's our best option. Is he also patient
I
46?
don't know.
It seems like he's trying to be, but there are just a lot of
Yeah.
holes there. And there are holes in the baby theory too.
Yeah.
And that honestly just leaves the option of a mysterious third party pulling the strings
But that
behind the
makes
scenes,
no
which on one
sense
hand
if
would be
Steel
welcome.
decides
I'd
to
love
do
to see a
that.
new character inserted into
Yeah, it
this
will be
lore.
cool,
but on
but-
the other hand, it also feels unsatisfying because it's like, well, that came out
Yeah.
of nowhere. This franchise has never operated like that, so it feels weird for it to start acting that way now.
Yeah.
Individually, small pieces of the mystery make sense, but when you take a step back and look at the wider lore of this series, how it connects to other games, how it connects to the wider story arc that's been created, that's when things start to fall apart. And I think that is what is so frustrating with this title. So that's what I'm left with. Let me know what your thoughts are. Are you seeing things that I'm not? Hopefully it at least sparked some ideas in your head. And hey, if it did, you can let me know live right now. I am officially live with
Yeah,
other
I
members.
know. I watched part of the stream, but I didn't get to watch it all because I was resting again. Plus, I was online school, so yeah. But those series was good, but just like Matt said, there is a lot of holes in them, so we just had to wait and see what Seal was doing next. Or Security Breach. Before I actually said I didn't really like the game too much, but now with finally understanding it, I feel it's way better. I think they just need to fix the bugs, they need to fix all the glitches, and Security Breach could be the game of the year for sure. But lore-wise, there's so much different points that could go, different things to talk about. Like, there's just so much, and it's just getting confusing. The game is probably the longest and biggest game in the FNAF series, so yeah. But otherwise, that was a pretty good theory. It does make some sense that Child is Gregory and how he's learning and stuff. That does make a lot of sense. Because at the beginning of the game, we never actually see Gregory enter the Pizzaplex or try to escape Vanny or something. We just sat with Freddy passed out. Freddy and then in the room, bam shut. And he was saying he climbed in the chest cavity, but that had to be before the stage performance. So therefore, Gregory was in the pizzeria before Glamour Freddy did the performance. So maybe the DLC could be based on that. It might be a prequel. This is pretty tough. But if you guys have enjoyed, be sure to subscribe because this is a pretty long video, to be honest. Nearly 60 minutes long. So, see you guys in the next one. Bye!